He is the winningest coach in Stanford school history, David Shaw. How are you, Coach?
I'm great, Rich. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. So, where are you right now in your preparations for the year? College football right around the corner here. Where are you?
You know, we're 5 practices in, 6 practice today.
Okay.
Actually, we had a day off yesterday, day off of practice, NCAA mandated. So we went and saw our good old friend Mike Mayock down at Raiders camp, which was good. We got the staff out there to go see Mike and spend some time with him, and they look good. I think they're on the bounce back from a tough year, but love their draft picks, and I think Mike's done a great job there.
Did you see Mike's hot air balloon in the background? Did you see it?
I did not see his hot air balloon. He may have deflated it for the day.
You know what?
But
David,
he's big time out there now.
David, you know Mike as well as anybody, and we've worked with him, and we've been there. We've done that. Okay. What if you had ever pulled him aside? Because he respects you immensely. I mean, I'm not saying that he doesn't respect me, but he knows I'd like to just yank his chain. But if you pulled it like 7 years ago, and you'd say to him, hey, Mike, one day you're going to be a general manager in the NFL, and you are going to put a lot of eggs in the basket of a very talented wide receiver who, could do some strange things. But here's what's going to happen. He's going to arrive to your first training camp in a hot air balloon with frostbitten feet from a cryo chamber that he didn't put the proper booties on, and you're not going to be able to practice him. What do you think he would have said, David, back in the day?
Yeah, back in the day, he probably would have had a bit of a problem with it. He's a defensive back, so he's got something against his receivers anyway.
That's correct.
He gets over it when he's evaluating, but he's also a big Belichick guy, and I think he would have a very similar reaction to what Belichick would probably react to, something like that.
Isn't that right? I mean, it's crazy how life works. It really is nuts, But how sense of, whatever you want to share, the sense of what it does look like at Raiders practice when you say that they look good. I mean, what, from your evaluation eye, did you see about this team, David?
It was obvious what they tried to do. They upgraded speed. The running back from Alabama looks outstanding. The safety they took in the first round, flying around, being physical, getting a lot of publicity for hitting people, et cetera. But
right.
That's what they drafted him for. That's what he's paid to do, and hopefully he does it with the pads on, not without the pads. But Farrell, the long, athletic pass rusher, brought in some other free agents, and just on the hoof, seeing them last year, they look like a bigger, longer offensive team in particular. Up front on the offensive line, they look like monsters.
But Jacobs,
they're just big.
Jacobs
big
was
people.
that kid. Yeah, Jacobs was that kid we talked about first night of the draft. When that's how Mike and the Raiders finished up their first night of 3 first-round picks. You just mentioned all 3 of them, and Farrell, Abram. But Jacobs, he looks like an NFL ready to roll dynamic back to you?
He does. His quickness in and out of the hole, it's impressive. We got a chance to watch them against the Rams, scrimmage against the Rams, and to see him change direction and move and accelerate. And I know John Gruden loves to run the football,
yes.
And use a play-action pass. So that's going to be a big part of their game with a big physical offensive line. It could be exciting in the Raider world this year.
David Shaw, Stanford head coach. Before we get to your team, let's just keep your draft analyst hat on, if you don't mind, from our first night together. Daniel Jones, we're going to get out there tonight, it looks like, and see what he looks like for the Giants against the Jets. What should we be seeing from him in a preseason game in any sort of action that would give us an indication that the very negative reviews of the Giants drafting him where they did might be off, that he can do what their Giants are hoping him to do? David.
What you'd love to see, and I'm an old West Coast guy, you'd love to see efficiency. You love to see a guy go out there, get the ball out of his hands. He was well coached coming out of college, but you love to see him make quick decisions, get the ball out of his hands, move the team. You love to see him take them on a scoring drive, but they don't have to score. You want to see that vision of the guy playing quarterback, right? Not rattled by the rush, getting the ball out of his hands, push up in the pocket because he's a good athlete, maybe scramble for a first down. You just love to see some real positive plays. This is going to be something he's never done before. With a group going after him that he's never faced before. But at the same time, he's got better talent around him that he's never had before. So You just want to see something positive come out of it. He shouldn't look like Johnny Unitas on day one, but he should look like an efficient quarterback. And for me, honestly, he's got the talent. He's got the tools. Most people thought, gosh, if he comes back, he's going to be that much better. He comes back to school, but he's in the NFL now, and he's got the tools. You just love to see some efficiency and really good, efficient quarterback play.
And what are you expecting out of Murray and Kingsbury? I'm assuming they're not going to give away the store here, that they want to make sure that when Murray comes out of the box against the Lions, that Matt Patricia has zero tape, is such much zero tape to work with. How do you think that's going to work tonight with Murray and Kingsbury and the rest of the preseason?
I don't know Cliff very well. We've interacted a couple of times. He gives me the sense that I don't think he cares. I don't think he cares. I think, hey, we're going to go out there. We're going to sling it around the yard. We're going to get this quarterback comfortable. We're going to get the guys around him moving. We'll put some film out there, and we'll do some stuff we're going to do during the year, maybe do some stuff that maybe we're not going to do during the year. But I think their main focus is they've got a franchise quarterback. They want to put him out there for his limited role. They want the guy to get a first taste of the NFL and feel good about getting the ball out of his hands. I think that's the main priority.
And then in terms of Haskins tonight, Donald Penn got signed by Washington with Trent Williams sitting out. They tried Eric Flowers at the position. You got a rookie running back with an offensive line that might be in flux. What do you think we're expecting to see out of him for the Redskins tonight, David?
Well, Haskins, I thought was probably the top prototypical NFL quarterback in the draft, and I think his footwork is good. I think he's got a lot to learn. I would think that 3 times during the course of that game, you're going to see the howitzer. Right, you're going to see why he got drafted so high, why so many people were really enamored with him. Who knows how he's going to play. Hopefully he plays well and moves the team. But a couple times that game, he's going to unleash that arm, and it's impressive. It's one of the stronger arms in the NFL. He's in that upper echelon, and I think you're going to see it.
And then in terms of what we're seeing, David Shaw, Stanford head coach here, Christian McCaffrey appears to be ready to just absolutely explode and be a potential 1,000 guy. I mean, Norv Turner and him, when Cam looked healthy last year, he was ready to go. I'm wondering what your sense of it is now. It's year 3. We can clearly see that this kid can run between tackles. This is no joke here. What do you think, David Shaw?
Well, first, I cleared my throat here for a second. I told you so. This kid is special. His body, and don't forget, he left after his junior year, so his body is still maturing. So he has gotten bigger. He is stronger. He is 215 pounds, and he's just as fast, just as quick. He would probably say faster and quicker. This kid's on a mission. I would just keep the record book open and just kind of glance at a couple of things. Will he be the next? It was only 2,000 or 3,000 1,000-yard guys in the history of the league. Keep your eye on that. There's also an NFL record that is held by another Stanford man, Glenn Milburn. Most total yards, most all-purpose yards in a game. I'd watch out for that one also. This kid is on a mission. He is quick. He is explosive. He's worked his tail off this offseason. And Norv Turner knows how to use a guy like him. He's with LaDainian Tomlinson. So don't be surprised if last year was a breakout year. This might be a record year for the kid.
Do you need a lozenge? Did you get something stuck in your throat right there? Do you need something for it?
Well, we had many conversations about this guy coming out, and this is anybody who saw him live is not surprised that this is happening. This is just who this young man is, and it's only going to get better.
Any concern about luck in any of your conversations you've had with him? Now we got a lower leg. Now we got his lower than the waist situation for him coming in to the season.
No. I mean, it's a twinge. I think he and everybody's being overly cautious. They know what he's like when he's 100%, and that's the goal, is to get him 100% for game 1. And he feels great. The rest of his body, the 99% of his body, feels great. He's just got to get past this lower calf deal, and once he's there, he has no concern about it. It's just getting ready for week 1.
Couple more minutes left with David Shaw of Stanford. Boyd, as your team come out of the box, Northwestern at USC at UCF versus Oregon. That is just a real tough first 4 weeks. And then, obviously you've got kids that need to get up to speed and begin to figure out how to play with one another. What is the challenge for you here, Coach?
Well, the first challenge, Northwestern, first Pat Fitzgerald's done an outstanding job at Northwestern. He's built that program from where it was when he first got there over this past decade. He's really built a strong program, made their way to the Big Ten championship game last year, played Ohio State extremely tough. This battle for us has got to start on the offensive side with the offensive line. Up front, on their front seven, they are long, they are physical, they are relentless. We've got to match their intensity. With a lot of guys, they're going to be a little experienced, so they're going to gain experience very quickly against a very good defensive front. Defensively, hey, we got to stop the run. We got to be physical up front, and we got some really good corners on the back end. Hopefully, we can slow down the passing game as well. But right off the bat, it's going to be a big showdown.
You know, this is what's I see this and I'm like, this is a way to start a season. I mean, just in terms of tough schedule. Then you see other programs, they just don't do it. Is there any sort of movement to try and force teams to schedule teams that you think are worthy of the school and the program, David? It just doesn't seem very fair to me. It's not uniform at all.
It is not even close. And I've told many people all the way up through all the NCAA, through the commissioners I've talked to. Right, I was schooled as an NFL guy, 9 years in the NFL. When I was at the Raiders, if the Broncos played an easier schedule than us, I'd be upset. Right, they have an easier path to the playoff. So that's what's kind of going on in college football right now. And at some point, it's going to take an organizational decision to push conferences into alignment to say we're all going towards a playoff. Let's have similar paths towards a playoff. Either we're all going to play 9 conference games or we're all going to play 8. We're all going to play a 1 AA team or we're not. Maybe we'll play 1, but let's have the same exact rules so that everyone has the same path towards a championship in their own conference and an opportunity to get to the playoffs. So we're nowhere close to that right now, but that's where a lot of us are trying to urge everybody to go in that direction.
Before I let you go, Coach, you just mentioned your years in the NFL. Ed Reed just got into the Hall of Fame. I'm sure you've spent some time in Baltimore when he was balling out. Do you have a good Ed Reed story? Anything that just jumps off the top of your screen?
I could do an entire show with 4 years with Ed Reed. But the thing with Ed that a lot of people don't understand, you see Ed, he's a little over 5'10". He's right about 200 pounds, not the biggest guy. This guy could change the game in less than 5 seconds. Right, he's one of 2 guys I ever saw in the NFL. He and Troy Polamalu that could blitz from 12 to 14 yards away from the line of scrimmage at the snap and hit the quarterback at the top of his drop. Speed and explosion. But my favorite Ed Reed moment, we're playing at the Jets. It's a 2-minute drill. The Jets are driving down. He intercepts the ball in the end zone, and Ray Lewis tries to tell him to stay in the end zone. He fakes out Ray Lewis and takes it all the way down the field. And it's just one of those things. You just don't stop Ed Reed. You follow Ed Reed. He's a special person. He's a special football player, and I was excited to see him get inducted.
Me too. So you're saying that not even Ray Lewis could stop Ed Reed is what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is those 2 guys on the same team, some games it just wasn't fair.
I bet not. And Polamalu's eligible next year, so I'm assuming he should go in too in that regard.
I hope so.
Hey, David, I love our chats. Miss chatting with you. I hope to chat with you down the line. Okay. Thanks for the call.
Thanks, Rich.
You got it. You got it. That's David Shaw, Stanford head coach, at Coach David Shaw on Twitter.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.